Today's topic is soil amendments. Soil amendments are substances that you add to your soil to make it more suitable for the plants you intend to plant. The first step in choosing any soil amendment is identifying what type of soil you have to start off with. There are three primary types of soil: sandy, clay-based, and loamy. Sandy soil drains incredibly well but doesn't retain water at all, while clay soil is the complete opposite. It retains water too well and barely drains at all. Loamy soil is the Goldilocks soil. It's just right. It retains water while still draining appropriately. Regardless of what soil type you have, you can easily amend it to add to its drainage or water retention. To aid with drainage, add hardwood bark, wood chips, vermiculite, or perlite. To aid in water retention, add peat or vermiculite. I have a handy chart located on our blog post that is a companion article to this video that shows you many different types of soil amendments and their properties in aiding you in augmenting your soil. Another thing that's critical to know about your soil type is its pH. pH not only aids in a plant's growth, but also aids in the way that it can absorb nutrients from the soil. Some plants prefer a higher pH while others a lower. It's important not only to know what type of soil pH you have, but what type of soil pH the plants you're growing want to have. To adjust your pH is as easy as adding lime to raise it or sulfur to lower it. You want to do this, however, very slowly, because if you adjust it too quickly, it may shock any plants that you already have planted. You also want to check the soil pH every couple of years, as it will change. If you have to add lime or sulfur to adjust it, those will eventually be used up and need to be replenished. Now on to nutrients, aka fertilizers. We're all gung-ho, at least I know I was, on adding fertilizers to get the perfect soil. But just like adding drainage or water retention or adjusting the pH, you need to know what your soil is in the first place. You might have a perfect balance of nutrients in your soil already, and adding fertilizers is actually going to cause problems rather than help. Again, I have a rather extensive list on that blog post on our website that will help you determine what soil amendment might work best for you. The three main nutrients found in most fertilizers are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. This is known as NPK, and you may find a 3-number ratio that indicates the levels of N, P, and K, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, in your fertilizer solution or mixture. I have indicated these ratios on the blog post, and I'll mention them here for you as well. We're going to start off with Alfalfa Meal, which is a 3-2-2. As the name indicates, this is the plant alfalfa ground up to a fine powder, thus increasing its surface area, making it easily release its nitrogen and other elements into the soil. Next up, we have blood meal, which is a 12, 1.5, 0.5. As you can tell, this is a nitrogen-rich fertilizer, but it is slightly on the acidic side, so it may burn your plants. It is, however, very fast-acting, so it may be the best choice for those plants in dire need. Next, we have bone meal, which is a 1-25-0. I have found varying ratios on bone meal. This ratio is the one I actually have in our greenhouse, but you want to check each product for its own particular ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. As you can tell by the numbers, bone meal is rich in phosphorus, and this is great if your soil is lacking phosphorus. But again, I can't stress enough that you need to know if it is actually lacking in phosphorus, because if it isn't and you add bone meal, you will be causing more harm than good. You also want to make sure that your soil's pH is below 7.0, as anything above that number won't allow the phosphorus to be absorbed by your plant. Cottonseed Meal is a 6-1-1. This nitrogen-rich fertilizer is a slow releaser, so it's a good idea to add this to your garden in the fall, so that way it will be absorbed into the soil come springtime. Compost. It ranges, but it's normally around the 1.5 ratio range. I love compost. I did a video on compost all alone, as it is so good for your garden, so good for the environment, and so good for your wallet. Besides being a great fertilizer, the larger pieces can be used as a mulch, aiding in water retention and prohibiting weed growth. You can also steep your own compost tea. This would be a water-based nutrient that you can spray directly on your plants as a foliar. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I'm going to be using it again, so bear with me. As all things, keep aware of your pH, as compost tends to be a little on the alkaline side. It's best added to your garden before planting. Now on to our favorite part of the show, and that's manure. Not all manure is the same, and so I'm going to go over some of the key different types that you may find and why they're beneficial for your garden. Cow manure is a 2.5, 1.5. This is one of the most common manures that you can find just about anywhere, and it's easily readable to be spread on your garden. However, it could contain a high level of salt, so you want to be aware of that when applying it. This amount of salt and its hotness, as is related to many terms with manures, may burn your plants and cause some initial damage. A good idea when dealing with all manures is to age it. You can find pre-aged products that are labeled thusly, or you can simply buy it and age it yourself by storing it someplace after a period of time. Poultry manure. This is a 3.5, 1.5, 1.5. With slightly higher nutrient values than the cow manure and a quicker reaction time, this might be a better choice. Again, this is another manure type that needs to be aged. So if you find a product that's pre-aged, great. If not, age it yourself, and then you're good to go to add it to your garden. Earthworm castings. Yes, we're still on manure, but this is the earthworm version. Now, earthworm castings is obviously just that, without the earthworms, without the extra dirt. Whereas if you have earthworms already living in your dirt, you're going to have a certain amount of castings in there too. So making an environment that's beneficial to earthworms is beneficial to your garden. Earthworm castings are a 2-1-1, and as it's already present in the dirt, there's no need to age it. Bat guano! I don't know, there's something about guano that just makes me laugh. I guess it's my child side. But this is good stuff. This is a 10-10-2. It is fast acting and great because it's water soluble, so you can steep a tea from it and use it as a foliar. Fish emulsion. Now, this is made from dead fish, so it does have an odor. Please keep this in mind, and I would suggest, if at all possible, don't store it or use it inside. That said, it's nitrogen rich and is easily diluted with water. It is acidic, so make sure that you dilute it properly. Directions should be indicated on your purchased vessel. That said, it deploys its nitrogen load immediately. Thus, it could save a plant if it's in a kill it or save it kind of situation. Fish meal is a 5-2-2. If you've heard the story of Native Americans planting fish in with their corn, this is the reason why. Fish meal is perfect for growing corn. Green sand is new to me. I've never used it before, but it's a 1-1-5. So it's one on our list that's higher on the potassium side. Green sand is a mineral-like substance that's harvested from ancient seabeds. Thus the greenish tinge, as it's the algae that has compacted there. It is high in calcium and many other trace elements, though these vary greatly dependent on the source. Liquid kelp fertilizer is a 1.2-2 ratio. Now, as the name suggests, this is kelp that has been cold pressed to extract its good essence. It is packed full with trace elements and really aids in plant growth. Again, it's water soluble. Mix it with water, use it as a foliar, or put it right next to your plants. Soybean meal is a 7-2-0. This is nitrogen rich because it's a bean, and beans have lots of nitrogen that they can absorb from the atmosphere and collect in their roots. Ground that up into a powder, and bam, you got soybean meal. Shellfish fertilizer, or shell meal, is a 5-2-5. This is made up of the crushed up byproducts of the seafood industry. Not only does it contain calcium and many other trace elements, but it contains an element known as chitin. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong as well, but it's okay. The reason why I notated this is because it aids in dealing with nematodes. And if you have a root knot nematode problem like I do, then this could be very beneficial. I focus primarily on the natural soil amendments that you can add to your garden. There are tons of synthetic elements that you can apply as well. They tend to be more fast acting, but they don't last as long. The ones that I have listed are really to help you treat your soil so that your plants can flourish rather than treating the plant ignoring the soil. This tends to be a long-term fix rather than a short-term fix, and that's why I prefer the natural, more organic style of soil amendments to the synthetic. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Look up! There's another one you might like equally as well. And don't forget that blog post!